What would you choose if you were only allowed to have one whiskey for the remainder of your life? It's a tough one, right? This is the question that has been posed and challenged to me today, and I'm going to let you know what I pick. Stay tuned. No doubt many of you that are fans of the WhiskyTube like I am have seen a challenge that is floating around at the moment called the One Whiskey for Life Challenge. You imagine that you are perhaps on a remote desert island and a genie grants you a wish where you're only allowed to have one single whiskey for the remainder of your days. Pick something that you can enjoy for a long time, right? This one had me stumped. It's a tough one. So this challenge was sent my way by Sertug, the whiskey enthusiast. If you haven't seen his channel yet, I'll add a link down in the description below this video. Great channel, great guy, great knowledge on whiskey, and thank you, my friend, for sending this my way. So I've seen quite a few different whiskey tubers have their take on this, and one thing that I would like to do similar to what others have done is a couple of honorable mentions. Part of the way the challenge has been explained to me is that we aren't able to pick very hard to find or obscure or one-off type bottlings. Now, beginning with honorable mention number 5, of all the whiskeys that I've ever tried in my life, this one blew my mind, and if I could pick, this would absolutely be my number 1 just because it captivated me more than anything else ever has, and that is an independent bottling of Ben Nevis, aged 18 years, Douglas of Drumlanrig. I don't know, I probably butchered that, but this is the box here. Can you see that one on the camera? I'm hoping you get a good view. This one is bottled in 2015, distilled in 1996, one of 571 bottles in the world, 54.7% ABV, and this is the most stunning, gorgeous note of if you took pineapple rings and barbecued them on a grill, that's what this tastes like. This just blew my mind and it's fantastic. So honorable mention, if I could pick it as my number 1, it would be the one I would absolutely be happy to spend my time with, just this one and this one alone. Honorable mention number 4, and that is a Whiskey Sponge 18-year-old bottling of Kalila number 54. I do not have a bottle of this, but I tried this at a whiskey show, and one of the greatest whiskeys that I've ever tried, an absolutely stunning Kalila. It was a cask strength. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head what the ABV was, but single cask. Incredible whiskey, and I know that's part of what you get sometimes when you strike it lucky with those single casks. So let's move on now to the remainder of the honorable mentions, being easily accessible bottles that you could pick up just about anywhere. Some of you may have already seen the review I did of this whiskey. It is the Glenallachie 15-year-old. So if you haven't seen my review, I'll add a link to the video for you to check this one out. This is a great whiskey. Just right now you can see I've had it open a fair few months and we're probably about a third of the bottle left. When I opened this, the neck pour was like burnt brown sugar, just this beautiful, rich, sweet decadence. And now the last time I had a dram of this, maybe a couple of weeks back, it's transitioned into this most beautiful rose water, rose petals, Turkish delight, incredible whiskey. Another honorable mention, this is number 2. It is the Talisker 18, the older label, older bottling. This one, if you are a fan of Talisker, is gorgeous, absolutely stunning. Think Talisker 10, but just more oily and even more perfectly positioned and balanced. Just the way this whiskey coated my mouth is a stunning whiskey, absolutely stunning. And considering these ones come out of Diageo and are chill filtered and not natural colored, they are incredible offerings. So if you haven't tried this one, get your hands on a Talisker 18. Okay, the final honorable mention before we get on to what is ultimately the whiskey that I would drink for the remainder of my days if I could only pick one. And the last honorable mention is the Lecheg 18. This one is absolutely gorgeous. You will have seen many whiskey tubers had this as one of their whiskeys of the year in 2022, and for very good reason. A stunning 18-year-old whiskey. It's one that I would always have my hands on and keep in my cabinet. A beautiful whiskey, a lovely peated whiskey from Tobermory, stunning flavors, great balance. It's a great whiskey. The final whiskey, this is the one that I would pick to be the whiskey I spend enjoying and savoring for all of eternity. And I have taken a leaf out of many other people's books. It's a cask strength offering, and I think this adds a lot of merit in terms of being able to adjust the flavor profile of the whiskey with some water if you wanted to. It gives you a little bit more diversity in your choice. I know many people have talked about maybe not having a peated whiskey because they would grow tired of having peat for the rest of their days, but I thought about it and I would much prefer to have peated whiskey forever than never have peated whiskey ever again. So it had to be a peated expression. Another funny thing that I think is worth mentioning, when I explained this challenge to my wife, you know, she comes from the islands, right? And she said, you have to pick a cask strength whiskey and a smoky whiskey because you can use that to marinate your food and flavor the food that you cook, and it's cask strength. So when you're on an island, it can be used as antiseptic, and you can use it as a fuel source if you have this never-ending supply of cask strength alcohol. So, you know, the way that my wife thinks, the ideas and where she takes the challenge, I thought that was funny and worth sharing with you guys. So this one has most certainly got her approval. Laphroaig 25. This one here is the 2019 bottling, and it is matured entirely in bourbon barrels. It's 51.4% ABV, and it is absolutely stunning. You can see here, not a lot left. This one here has the most satisfying and gorgeous complexity on the palate, but it's not overpowered. The smoke has become subdued after 25 years, and you have this incredible lemon, lime, citrus, and the way it is put together and the composure of this whiskey is something. Every time I return to it, I sit with a glass, and it's just an absolute pleasure knowing the craftsmanship and the work of art that is in my glass. No other whiskey to date has made me feel that kind of experience, and I could quite comfortably for the rest of my days take my time and either dissect this whiskey and dive into the nuances and pull it apart, or just enjoy how well-rounded and how excellently crafted this whiskey is without having to think about it. So absolutely, this is the one. If I only could pick one whiskey for the rest of my life, the Laphroaig 25, in particular the 2019 edition, I am very thankful for all of you guys for coming along and checking this challenge out today. I'm very close to 1,000 subscribers, so if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please make sure to click that subscribe button. And what I would love to do to celebrate reaching the milestone of 1,000 subscribers is reviewing and tasting this Laphroaig 25. So let's help me get there, guys, and I'll do a review of this one for you guys once we hit that milestone. Given that this is a challenge, I am going to pass this on to the absolute rock stars at Top Shelf Whiskey, Mike and Dustin. I love watching you guys taste the whiskeys that you do. You have a really great dynamic, the way you bounce off one another, and the type of whiskeys you taste are great. So I'm very intrigued to see what whiskey you guys pick, whether you pick one that's the same whiskey or one each. So I'm kind of cheating a little bit there to try and potentially see, you know, how you guys approach this and if you pick something together or separately. So thank you very much, guys. And until next time, enjoy your whiskey responsibly.